Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hello everybody and welcome to All-Star 15 TV on the broadcast tonight. It is our Wednesday night special, the Thunderstorm League of Racing. We're all the way in Joliet, Illinois at the Chicagoland Speedway for the Land of Lincoln 135. In the broadcast booth with me are two of my best buddies here on iRacing. First off, it's Mr. Gary Wells.
Hi guys.
And Mr. Peyton Sweet.
Hello everyone, glad to be back.
Alright guys, well, I know you guys have been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, getting ready for the event tonight. Let's start running everything down with, we have 26 people so far in practice looking at a big field. When it comes to a big field, you have a lot of factors and a lot of tire wear. Let's get into some of the details with these cars, the track, and pretty much how tonight is going to run. And Peyton, we're going to start with you to bring in some of the info.
Well, I mean, I ran a couple laps in on the track here, just kind of get a feel for the car, since I've really never ran a Chicagoland in an Xfinity car. And man, these cars are tight, AJ, and you got to be very careful when you're going around here. Even though it's a bit of a cool track, temps around 78 right now, this track's got a very old surface, and so that makes for these cars to slide around everywhere. You want to make sure you're not carrying too much speed, otherwise you might lose the rear end and go around on you. So should be fun to watch these guys tonight. I know, Gary, I think you ran here before. It's such a fun time to be here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more fun mile and a halves on iRacing, just simply because it's so unique compared to the rest of them. Yeah, you see a mile and a half, so you think cookie cutter, and they all look the same, and they all drive the same. But Chicago is kind of a happy medium between a flat track and a high bank track, like you would see at the old Atlanta or Charlotte, where it's about 24 degrees of banking. This is only about 20, so about what you would see at a Homestead. And the Bragg straightaway isn't even straight. It's a slight curve. So you're always turning around this racetrack. So it's going to be interesting to see how the guys save their tires. And I think we'll see 2 or 3 lines of racing here tonight. I've seen some people in practice already experiment with the higher lane and even getting up into the Larson line sometimes. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys approach the racetrack.
Well, another thing I want to talk about is this is another racetrack where people like to cut the front dog leg. Explain to everybody on, does that help? Will that hurt the car? And pretty much use the strategy of you both being a driver and Gary, you being a very good driver, watching you multiple times. Peyton, really haven't had the pleasure to watch you race. But Gary, explain to how people are going to use that front dog leg and possibly how it can hurt the car on the long run.
Yeah, so the dog leg here, you'll definitely see them cut that in qualifying. So that'll be interesting to watch as they get ready to qualify here in the next 5 minutes or so. They'll cut it just to save some distance, cutting distance off the lap, therefore cutting off time. You might see it early on in the race during like starts and restarts and that kind of thing, but you have to be precise with it. If you're going to be in between the banking and the apron, it's not a good time. That car is going to get stupid loose and you're going to wreck. We've also seen cars stay on the apron on brand new tires and just lose it because they're hitting bumps. It is a little bumpy down there on that apron, so it could be one of those things where we may not see a whole lot of guys get on the apron the longer we go.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how qualifying is going to go, how this race is going to develop, because you mentioned it's going to be multi-grooved. And are we expecting to see early on in a run on the bottom move all the way to the wall? Or do you think we're actually going to see some drivers go straight to the wall from the beginning, Peyton?
I think you're going to see a bit of both. I think you're going to see guys trying different lanes just to start. I mean, you're going to see the guys, seems like the better line would be running down on the bottom end to turn 1 out of turn 2. But I've also, like Gary said, during practice, we've seen guys running against the wall. So when we get this race going and underway, you're going to probably see both people trying to do the same thing. Guys running the wall, guys running down toward the bottom, just to try to see where their car best fits right now at that point in time. I would say on fresh tires, I'd probably want to be more close to the wall because I lost the car on a opening lap and going into the inside. But you're going to see guys probably experimenting here at the start. I think that's going to be the biggest thing here.
Well, everybody.
Yeah, I think.
Continue, Gary. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say to follow up with Peyton there. We'll see guys all over the track at the beginning. I think really you'll want to see those guys run the white line, harvicking, so to speak, the first maybe 5 to 8 laps of the run. But after that, you'll see guys move up 1 lane, maybe 2 lanes. By the end of it, I'm not saying everybody's going to be rim riding around the wall, but they're going to be going where they think their car can fit best and where the fastest lane that they can go. Because clean air, especially on the front end of these cars at this racetrack, is very key.
Well, and I want to bring up a big point of the race tonight. It's Mr. Devin Mosley. He's going to be our in-race reporter all the way from that beautiful Amtrak number 5 Train Sim World Ford Mustang. I was going to try to throw a lot more stuff in there as he's riding the wall, so he probably just heard us talking about him, or me talking about him. But he's going to be our in-race reporter, and that means everybody at home watching, we need your help. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, because when you subscribe to the channel, it unlocks the chat. It's completely free. And you can ask questions, and that's what we need. We want questions for Devin Mosley for when we pull him the multiple times into the broadcast booth. But let's get right into it. Looks like we have just about 3 more minutes left in practice, and the driver that has really done the most is looking to be David Harden in that 33. Now, it looks like he's had about 6 runs in that number 33 in this practice. What can they be testing? Tire wear, fuel wear? Do you expect them to be working around traffic, trying to see what the car is going to feel like in traffic? What is your plan when it comes to a practice session, Gary, at a track like Chicagoland?
At a track like Chicagoland, especially with the fixed setup, yeah, you're going to turn a few laps before you even touch the sim on a Wednesday night to go race. Yeah, these guys get an hour of practice, but I know there are some people that will spend 150 to 200 laps during the week just to prepare for this race. In David's perspective, he hasn't ran a super long run. He's put together like 3 or 4 or 5 runs. I think the longest run he's had was maybe 10 to 15 laps. I think what he's experimenting with is what lane is going to move where in the short end of the run. Right now, he's keeping it on the bottom, and that's kind of the place to be early on in the race. And honestly, a little bit of traffic too. I think he's trying to negotiate traffic. Now, I did take a look at Devin, our in-race reporter, as well, and he was running. I think he ran 33 laps straight. So he ran over half of a fuel run just to see what that car is going to do over the long haul, how much the tires are going to fall off, and also you get to experiment with traffic a little bit too. I think that's what these guys are mostly doing during the practice.
As we just saw Devin Mosley with a big incident there. He already had damage, been a couple laps since he hit the wall. He stayed out, wanted to see what the car would feel like with some damage. But wow. But when we return, it's going to be qualifying. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll see you when it's qualifying time.
From Mortar to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
And we are back. Qualifying has started, and Gary and Peyton have a lot of points to hit about the importance of qualifying here at the Chicagoland Raceway. Gary, take it away.
Well, I'm watching the 97 of CJ Ullman as we're getting going here, and he's one of the first guys on track. The key for your outlap, which is what he was doing, you want to be up against that wall in turns 3 and 4, coming to take the green. You want to get that car really wound up to make sure that you're going to be good going through turns 1 and 2. Gets a little loose off of 2 here and hits the wall. So not a great qualifying effort for CJ, at least to start anyway. But you see him cutting that dog leg there as he was coming off 4 to take the green as he's going through turns 3 and 4. Trying to build that momentum once again on the high side. And he's going to cut the dog leg again. That's cutting distance and time off of the lap, as we were talking about earlier in practice. Now let's see what he does here going into 1. Taking a much more conservative approach this time, going through turns 1 and 2. And he sticks it through turn 2. I was holding my breath there for him.
Got a lot of damage on
this car, he did get quite a bit of damage. And Peyton can allude to this too. Once you get damage on this car, it's very aerodynamic sensitive and it's not going to drive as good. Plus, with qualifying, these cars are typically set up to be super loose so you can keep your gas pedal all the way down in the car, all the way through the corner as best you can. And he's going to lay down a 31.67, not the greatest lap in the world, but I think he's going to be okay for the race. But qualifying here, and Peyton can talk about this too, I don't know if he's raced at Chicagoland, but it's very hard to pass here.
I actually haven't raced here at Chicagoland. That's why I was kind of doing some practice laps earlier to try to see, kind of get a feel for the car. But I do kind of agree with you that it does feel like this would be a track where it's going to be hard to pass. And I was watching Landon Williams qualify, and he didn't really use the dogleg at all, but he really nailed his entry in 1 and 2. He nailed 3 and 4 as well. And he's third fastest on the time charts. But yeah, the way these cars handle around here, especially if you hit the wall, with it being so aero sensitive, these cars will get even tighter, I feel like, and it will make it much harder to try to drive around here.
On his second lap.
Who?
James Thurston in the 96 DOP car loses it coming out of 2 and kills his second lap.
Yeah, that's mighty unfortunate. He's just coming through turns 1 and 2 right here. Scrapes the wall. And you can just see him here. He loses it. Yeah, very unfortunate for James, but...
You know he's going to be fast.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be fast. He just won last week, or 2 weeks ago, so he's going to be fine. And right now, that 30.96, there's not going to be a whole lot of pickup between your first lap and your second lap. A lot of these guys are running their best time on their first lap, so we're going to watch Ryan Billy here. I see you're already on him.
He already finished.
You already finished. Fantastic. I'm behind.
I'll share my screen for you so you can see exactly what I'm looking at.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm
watching Hermie Sadler right now. He had a great, I think he had a really good entry out of 1 and a good exit out of 2 here. He's going to the bottom here in 3, exiting 4.
Yeah, and he's running a nice family throwback there. Cool to see Hermie Sadler taking part in this. He's going to run a 31.39 there, lap number 1. That's going to put him solidly in the field in 16.
Puts him 16th right now. It looks like a good exit out of 2 there. See if he'll use the dog leg on this lap here. Don't know if his lap will be faster necessarily, like you said. Usually the first lap is the money lap, but you never know. It might just be warming up here. This is his second lap here in the session here tonight, so...
Yeah, not quite all the way down to the white line like you wanted right there, but he's going to cut the dog leg, and he's going to pick up a 10th. So very nice. He's going to put himself right around the top 10.
Yeah, right in 13th right now.
Yeah, so that's going to put him in a really good spot, and he might be one of those quieter guys to watch during the race here. So,
well, granted that he's a professional, I think he'll definitely be one of the ones to watch too. You know, he's probably got the patience that most of these sim racers probably don't have. So I think it'll be fun to watch someone like him maybe move his way through the front. So
well, let's take a look at the 07. We got Jeff Ramsdale out on track. Oh, and he is just taking his first lap here. He's going through turns 1 and 2 right now.
Oh, got a little loose coming out of 2 there. Saw the tires start to squeal there.
Yeah, he left a little rubber down there in turn 2. And I just like how he was able to hook turns 3 and 4 coming to the green on the bottom side. He did pretty good right there. And the bottom lane is pretty bumpy, so you're not going to see these guys run the white line perfectly. But if they're able to, they're going to try it.
P19 on his first lap.
Yeah, P19 on lap 1 there, going to put him solidly in this field. Of course, everybody's going to make it, but puts him right there in the middle of these guys. Let's see what he can do on that too.
It really killed him on that first lap, losing the rear end there. So hopefully this lap might be just a smidge better. Gets close to the white line there.
You were kidding about those bumps, Gary.
Yeah, this track is pretty abrasive and pretty bumpy. I have a race here in
a good lap there. P8.
Yes, he does. Holy cow.
Gotta put him inside the top 10 there. Very good lap. Beats Dalton there by 3/1000ths of a second. Let's take a look at the 47 car here.
Yeah, this is Sean Lester.
He always seems to be running pretty good everywhere we go, but yeah, that was a good shot you had there, AJ, of showing how bumpy this track can be.
And the driver everybody's looking forward to, the driver of the number 26, Michael Eckhart, just taking the green flag.
Our radio sweetheart. And he's running a throwback. I love this throwback.
Wasn't Darlington like a month ago? Oh, he's getting loose.
And well, there's our radio sweetheart.
Just shows you how difficult, though, it is. You know, obviously, we watched the 07 lose it earlier, and we watched Michael Eckhart lose it there as well.
And we saw CJ Allman hit the wall, too, in qualifying.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a tricky spot.
So, with this happening on his first lap, can reset, start over, but the minute he would have crossed that line again, if something happened, night's over, right? Or qualifying's over.
Well, qualifying will definitely be over for him if he does that again, but he's really going to be focused here. This is your fire lap here, so you really have to put something together. I know back in the day, if guys would spin out, come to the green, and that kind of thing yes, exactly. They would turn around, go backwards,
and then
come back around and try again.
He gets a little bit of damage there, Alex, hitting the wall there, but he'll have a that lap will be invalid now too.
Oh, even before he gets to the line?
Well, it'll make that lap invalid.
Oh, he loses it again.
Well, that'll make that lap invalid too. He's going to start from the rear. Shame for Michael there.
Mr. Radio Sweetheart himself.
And that's, I think it's going to be a trouble spot tonight, Peyton. I really do, because you're going to see guys get their Chicagoland stripe. I know we talk about the Darlington stripe when we go there, but you're going to see something very similar here, because turn 2, even though this track may seem wide and inviting and really sweeping, that exit of 2 is very, very tricky.
It honestly, Gary, I'm trying to look back at Michael's lap there. It just didn't look like he was comfortable in the middle there between 1 and 2. He got back on the gas and he was already turning the wheel to the right to counter it, and then just went right into the wall. So
guys, I got an idea. Why don't we talk to our in-race reporter, Mr. Devin Mosley?
All right.
Gary, take it away.
Devin Mosley, Gary Wells, Peyton Sweet, and AJ Capole in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
All right. Well, we're here at Chicagoland, and you did pretty good for yourself in qualifying. You did all right. You qualified somewhere.
24th.
I don't know. 24th.
I could have done better.
Not the greatest. You could have done better. We all know you're a good driver here. But talk about your race car. Talk about your qualifying run. What was it like out there?
Well, I'm driving an Amtrak Midwest car, which is for the regional area. But qualifying was a little slow. I could have done a little better. I ran along the wrong line for the day. Ran some practice. It was a little slow, but I'll get a little bit better as the race goes on.
Absolutely. And what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge here tonight? We saw in practice a little bit, and especially in qualifying, several guys had trouble with the exit of turn 2. Is that going to be a hot spot for everybody tonight as far as trouble goes?
Oh, yeah, the exit of the corners are really loose today. It's really slick out there, so you got to be careful with your tires. Michael's currently complaining right now about him screwing up too, so I'll be looking for people spinning up
we got a lot
forward.
of beautiful bean footage of that one. That was good to watch. You'll have to go back and watch that. But on the same subject here, since you are an in-race reporter, and I believe it was Joe Hutchings that had me start this tradition with everybody, do you pay your pit crew in milk and cookies?
This time of year, because Santa's coming, I do.
Good man, good man.
Answer.
You guys got any questions for him?
Nah, Devin, outside of, it getting loose out of 2 and 4, what do you plan on doing to protect those tires?
I just got to be careful getting off the corner. You got to be careful with your throttle control, because if you don't, you're going to burn off that right rear. And I've had a big problem with that this time, so it's a new problem for me. So I'll be sure to baby that tire coming out of the corner.
Peyton, anything for you real fast?
No, sir, Devin. Just good luck tonight. Hopefully you do well.
All right.
I will try to break this DNF streak.
See you
There
later,
you go.
dude. All right, everybody. Well, it is gridding time. That came by really fast. So let's do it. Let's see who's on the front row. It's Chase Schaefer and J.D. Laird. Row number 2, it's Landon Williams and Elliot Drummerman. Row 3, James Thurston and David Cabrera. Row 4, Ryan Billy, Jeff Ramsdale. Row 5, Dalton Fredericks and Zach Duche. Gary, take it from 11 to 20.
11 to 20, we have Charles Bachman there in 11th. 12th place, we got Philip Bridgman. 13th place, we've got Connor Marabelli. 14th, we've got Clay Nelson. 15th is Jack Brown. 16th is going to be Herman Stadler. 17th is Sean Lester. 18th is going to be Ted Deckard. 19th is going to be Lucas Martin. And rounding out the top 20, Peyton, is going to be David Harden.
Starting from 21st is the 60 car of Mike Robinson. 22nd, the 04 of Steve Accardi. Chase Ware starts in 23rd. Devin Mosley, our in-race reporter, he'll be 24th. CJ Allman in the 97 is 25th. Andy Ennis is going to be 26th. Zach Mertz in the 02 is 27th. And then the final 3 guys did not set a qualifying lap. 28th, Oscar Henson. 29th, Michael Eckhart, who crashed in qualifying. And then starting in the very tail end of the field in the 98 is Garrett Britton.
All right, guys, who you picking? Gary, who you looking at?
You know what? I'm going to take Peyton's advice. I am going to go with Hermie Sadler.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
Who do you gonna pick?
See, I'm going to lean more toward the 88 of Landon Williams. I think he's put in a really solid lap here. And
Not
you know,
that
his
big either.
performance isn't too, you know, it's pretty shallow. I think it's pretty good. So I think he'll be good to watch. Again, he's starting third there in that 88 car. Plus, it's a really awesome Drinkin Bro scheme. I think that will be really nice to look at in victory lane. AJ, what about you?
Well, I'm going to take the 31, the driver of the JDR Graphics Chevy Camaro, and that is David Cabrera, and we are about to go green. Chase Schaefer, JD Laird on the front row, and away we go. Land of Lincoln 135 underway. And they're going to stay side by side all the way to turn number 1 as Schaefer looked like to get a little bit of an advantage there. Oh, they're
Looks like
fanning
we'll be
out.
3 wide almost.
Oh, they're fanning out.
They are fanning out. Oh, yeah, David, that got up into the wall and a little loose.
Elliot Drummerman already with damage.
Yeah, he kind of hit the wall there a little bit and just lost the momentum, and somebody rear-ended him there. Obviously, just so tough trying to find the right grooves as you try to get this opening laps here.
Well, everybody does get a fast repair, and we're going 90 laps around this 1.5 miles, so you don't want to use it too early, as it looks like Dalton Fredericks in the 45 All-Star 15 TV Ford Mustang. Wow, I love that car. For, you know, special reasons. But
I made that logo, by the way. I just want to point that out.
you make a lot of logos.
You make a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you're the real MVP. But what do you
It's like
think,
some side
Gary? What do you think Drummerman's got
What
to
a
do?
save by Sean Lesnar here on the front stretch. Sorry. He was sideways. I couldn't even say it fast enough. But he's good now.
Now that Drummerman's got that damage on the right side and the back, you know, what do you think he's got to do as a driver to minimize the risk of another mistake?
Well, sorry, choking on my food here. He's really going to have to watch his corner entry. Make sure he really backs up the corners, so that way he doesn't hit the wall again. He's going to be fighting a tight condition for the rest of this run. So I think what he is really hoping for is an early caution. He probably won't take his quick repair, but what he's definitely going to try and do is if there's any optional damage to fix, he's definitely going to focus on that first.
Yeah,
Guys, I want to bring this up to your attention real quick. There was an accident on lap 2 between the 24 and the 04 on the backstretch coming out of turn number 1. Steve Riccardi's all the way back in 29th right now. Clay Nelson is getting ready to get lapped, actually.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, we're looking at Clay Nelson. He's got no rear end.
Yeah, the 04 just hit the rear end there. They kind of clipped him on the left rear quarter panel, and it just they both went around coming out of turn 2 there. Just unfortunate. I don't know if we're able to get a replay of that here later, but yeah, that's something to note here.
And we were talking about that turn 2 being a tricky spot, so
Here it is,
unfortunate
guys.
for those two, but
Here it is.
we got a replay.
Took me a little while to find it, but, you know, we do our best. Here's Steve Riccardi going up the racetrack and just clips the 20, and there he goes.
Yeah. Just
And
in case it
of course,
looked
they
like
were
the
so
20.
far off the racing surface that it wasn't going to bring out a caution.
Yeah.
But yeah, that 24, he's going to be battling the big loose condition. I'm showing here he doesn't even have a spoiler on that car now, so that car is going to be very evil to drive.
And there might be engine damage too. He looks to be way off the pace here. He's only going at like 160, and everyone else around him is going at least 170. So he's going to be down on power for at least until he can get down pit road to get that fast repair enabled.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason why he's just so slow through the corner is that he just doesn't have the rear end downforce to be able to keep the car in the racetrack.
So we're going to have a battle for third Bruin right here. Thurston in the 96 and Ryan Billy in the 23. And there he goes. There goes Billy shooting to the inside. Look at those
so far
bumps.
he's been able to make that inside work pretty good. A lot of bumps down there, so it's going to be hard for him to complete the pass.
Thurston nearly scraped the wall there. He might actually have tapped the wall there coming out of
he did. I see a little bit of damage on that right side of that 96 machine.
But right now, it's all Chase Schaefer in first by 2/10. But JD Laird is really using the 04 of Riccardi as a pick as he gains a lot on the backstretch here.
Yeah, he was able to get around Riccardi there pretty quick there in the 04. It's going to be interesting to see what JD decides to do. We're getting to that point in the run where...
Look at this. 3 wide coming
Three
out of
wide.
4.
Look at Thurston and Billy split in the middle there of the 04. But it's going to be really interesting for JD here in the next couple laps. He's going to have to make a decision on whether he wants to keep following the 99 in his tracks or if he wants to change up his line a little bit just to see if he can try to make a run.
Well, you got to remember, it is a long race. It's probably for the best to follow him now, but when it gets later on, in 30, 40, maybe 50 laps after we get a pit cycle, you're going to have to do something different, because if you just follow leader the whole race, you're going to run second.
You are. And honestly, at this point in the race, too, you're kind of watching to see where is Chase good and where is he weak. You're almost kind of doing like what the pros do in the stick and ball sports. They do a scouting report. That's what JD's doing here really quick, just to see what Chase is good at and where he might struggle, and maybe later on in the run, where can he pounce.
Well, what also is really good is JD Laird, Chase Schaefer, James Thurston, they all run around each other all year long, so there's a little bit of a familiarity with these drivers and how they're running. So I think JD already knows how Chase Schaefer's going to run throughout a race, so that also helps with the scouting report and planning to try to get around somebody.
Yeah, and with this being a different mile and a half, you may have some different tendencies, but to your point, I mean, he knows how he races. A lot of these guys here in the top 4 do. I mean, they run around Ryan Billy as well all the time, so it's going to be interesting to see as the race unfolds what if these two stay close the whole race and what they decide to do. Because they are putting down laps within hundreds of each other.
Yeah, almost.
While you guys were talking there on lap 10, I watched the 07 of
Jeff Ramsdale.
I forgot his name. Yeah, he hit the apron coming out of turn 4 and almost lost it. And he was 9th. Now he's back down in, I believe, the 12th position. So
yeah, he also has some rear end damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that came. It didn't look like it came from there. It might have been hit a little earlier on, but there. Oh, he almost lost it there too. Just getting on the apron there and just lost the rear end.
Now, do you think that rear end damage is really going to make that car super loose, or is he just loose because it's Chicagoland?
I'm not sure. That's more of a Gary question.
Right. Gary, since that's a question for you.
I mean, it could be a little bit of both. I mean, you are loose naturally at Chicagoland, but if you do have a little bit of rear end damage, or if you've got somebody right up on your bumper that take the air off that spoiler, it's naturally going to get you loose as well. So it's a combination of everything.
Oh, we're going to look at Zach Duche up here in the 8th, well, not now 9th position, as Mertez is going to try to get by him.
Yeah, Mertez is going to try to get by him, but we're starting to see this middle lane. You can start to defend pretty well as well. And you see Deutscher there in the 28. He's able to hold off Zach Mertez right there at the exit of 2.
Happy you said the last name, because I knew it wasn't Duscher anymore. It's Duche. Thank you.
Deutscher.
Deutscher.
It's German, I guess. We had a conversation with Zach.
We did. I remember it perfectly, just not the pronunciation of it.
It is all good. Look at David Cabrera right here, though. He's
going to be
hits the wall. Never mind. I was just about to say he was running that Larson line really well. And you see, he's got some contact there on the front end of that car, so he's definitely hit somebody at some point.
Oh,
yeah, these guys are 3 wide right here. They're going to make it through. They got it. You're going to see David go to the apron here.
For all you internet racing fans, whether it's console or sim racing, I don't know why I just did it. I'm broadcasting. I just leaned into that turn to help them turn.
Oh, I do that all the time. I do that all the time.
Man, he really
even when I'm racing too, you'll see me every once in a while, and I'm not even in VR. You'll see me just kind of turn through the corner.
Now, do you think Connor Mirabelli is going to try to push it 3 wide just so he can get by either Bachman or Cabrera or both? Because both are relatively slow right now.
If he has a run, I think he will, but I think he's just trying to see where he can go. Here he goes. He's going to go to the high side. He's going to try that Larson line. David Cabrera wasn't very good at it. He's not very good at it.
The wall.
But here's the thing. Going into turn 1, you saw the 31 of Cabrera kind of block that outside.
Yeah, he kind of blocked the outside, and then he gave him that lane just a little bit, and so he kind of went for it, which I don't blame Connor in that moment, but blocked it off and then went down. So maybe he was just trying to get a good entry for the corner there.
Yeah, you got to not hit the wall at that point.
Yeah, and you got to get a good art. Oh, so we see the 31 sideways. What a save by David Cabrera.
Oh, he's still sideways.
You'll want to get a replay of that. I think he's going to save it. He does.
Yeah, he'll save it good there. But man, he was drifting it all through the middle of 1 and 2 there.
Yeah, he was drifting that car. You want to talk about Tokyo Drift? There you go. We got Need for Speed here.
Now he's got to take it easy this next lap here to try to get those tires cooled down because that car is going to be super loose
you
now.
want the replay? Here it is.
I think there was contact. I could be wrong, though.
Oh, yeah, there was contact.
Oh, there was big
he's around
contact.
again, guys.
David Cabrera around again. That's going to bring out a yellow this time, and I don't think he's going to be as fortunate this time. Oh, the 31 to the 14. Oh, there's more wrecks. People are going to have to use for fast repair.
Or just jump the pit road.
They weren't even paying attention there. It looked like they just plowed right into him. But that 14 just went right back into the side to the 31. A repeat of what happened.
The 14 got loose on the apron.
Look at this.
We were talking about that briefly earlier.
Yeah, he is loose right there. Comes up on the racetrack, and the 31s are still there.
Yeah, I think he was expecting the 31 to take a higher arc into the corner and be a little bit higher, and it just didn't happen there. But look at these guys. Oh, the 33 with the big nailing there.
Yeah, it's David Harden. We're gonna go back and take another look at that. That was bad.
And they're locking the brakes up here, guys. And we talk about it all the time in sim racing. I talk about it to my guys in my league on Tuesdays. I mean, yes, you lock the brakes up, and yes, you're staying there, but it's up to the other drivers as well to give you room. And I don't know if just CJ didn't realize that they were in the middle of the track, but
here it is. This is from David Harden, and he's off the gas, but he is still rolling pretty good.
Yeah, he's still rolling pretty good there. I mean, not a whole lot that he could do. Maybe he was expecting them to roll down a little bit farther, but just an unfortunate situation there.
And
for
you
David.
brought up
get an onboard of the 97 because I think he went airborne.
Oh, we're gonna find out here.
That was the 98 of Garrett Britton went airborne, rode the wall.
That's who it was. It was either 97 or 98. I knew these two would make contact.
97's got a good view of it here. Watch him, though.
He tries to go high, and there was somebody there.
Wow, great.
And he shoves the 98 onto the side of his race car.
And we're looking for Garrett Britton, you said?
Yeah, the 98. But good avoidance there by CJ Allman. There, you can tell that car was not in control.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the cleanest move because you're going to watch the 98 right here. He's trying to do the same thing. He sees these guys. He already knows to go high, and
I'm flying through the
CJ
air.
Allman
This is
just
not
puts
good.
him into the fence. He was in the air for a moment. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, while we sort everything out, everybody comes down pit road. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we return, it'll be the restart from Chicagoland Speedway.
Let's get this circus on down the road. We're taking bets about a tank and gas will go. From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to Chicago. We have our channel partners. And I was going to thank them. The Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. I got to do them in order, guys. I'm sorry. And we also have Wrestling Over Everything. They talk about all the wrestling, man. All of it. On Facebook there. Drinkin Bros Auto Racing. And last but not least, we got Hutch Paints. That's the only one I remember. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I need to get better at this. So,
I also need to remember which one to click on once you said that. I was like, I was not ready.
Hey, it's okay. There's 2 of them. You're fine.
It's all right. And we are at Wonder Green here. We've got the 99 here in the lead. We've got Ryan Billy there in second. Going to be an interesting restart here, Peyton. Looks like everybody pitted. Decided to take their fresh set of tires. It's going to be interesting. It looks like CJ did lose a spot on pit road there because he was in second under that last run. So I think we're going to see a lot of aggressive racing here as we get going. And thank you, Mike Campigio, for the subscription there. I almost jumped out of my chair. That was beautiful. It scared the living crap out of me. Thank you.
Oh, you heard you heard the glass shatter and everything too?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I didn't know it was gonna do that. That's great.
All right, here we go. Pace truck is getting ready to pull down here. Chase Schaefer, the command. He's the one in the lead. They'll get to the restart zone, and we're back underway here at Chicagoland. A great restart from the 99.
Not bad for Ryan Billy either to tuck right in, but now he's gonna have to defend against JD Laird.
Yeah, he's gonna have
See
to
which
defend
lines
against
these guys
JD
take here.
and Landon.
Oh,
Look at Landon on the high side here. He's gonna try and stick his nose up there.
Ooh, he's gonna keep it off the wall.
He got close to that wall.
Nobody hit the wall there. That was amazing to watch.
Watch James Thurston right here. He's going to send it down here into 3. He's going to clear Landon. That was some pretty impressive racing there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, but it looks like our top 7 are all, top 10 are all single file now for the most part, except for the 9 and the 28.
And it's going to probably be like that for at least the next couple laps here while everyone tries to get their footing in. It's fresh set of tires, too, so you don't want to go too crazy on them yet and wear them out too quickly.
Yeah, look at that 9 car almost hitting the wall off of turn 2. These guys are running inches up off the wall, and it's incredible to watch.
Looks like Zach Mertz is going to get around Dalton Fredericks there. Good pass there.
Yeah, Zach Mertz there. He's pretty good. He's one of the better drivers in the league, and I know this is probably one of the first times that Dalton Fredericks has ever seen this racetrack. He's still fairly new to iRacing. He's been on the service about a year, but I mean, if you think about it, the officials, they don't really go to Chicagoland that often anymore since NASCAR doesn't come here. So
well, they might during the off season now.
They might during the off season. I think they were at Chicagoland this week. I can't remember which car. I think it might have been Xfinity or the Cup car. But I mean, if they're only here once a year, and you're not really on during the off season, it's pretty hard to get acclimated again, especially if you haven't been here in a while.
The thing with Dalton, though, is he's got that talent, though. It just seems like he has that raw talent to be quick. Oh, there's a car around the back. Trying to find out who that was.
Looks like
here.
Sean Lester.
Sean Lester, yeah, on the 47. No caution, though.
He's going to keep it off the track.
He's going to be able to keep it off the track there.
Looks like he just lost it, guys, coming out of turn 2 there.
Don't know if we're going to be able to catch that, but let's give it a shot. Gonna have to back it up. Apologize, everybody. It only shows us so much.
Right there.
And you just see him in that turn 2. He did that same thing in qualifying. Got wicked loose like that, and just he's able to save it. I mean, kudos to him.
Well, maybe because he's got Falcon tires and not Goodyears. He's so loose.
And the thing is, though, too, because it's fresh tires, right? That might also have played a factor too. You know, you're still trying to get them warmed up. Losing the rear end just seems like it'd be pretty easy on a set of fresh tires like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to save that even though new tires or old tires, saving it here like that when the car is that sideways, that's so incredible.
Oh!
Dalton
we
Mertez.
We got a wreck.
Dalton's going to keep it off the inside wall, but they're gonna have to regroup.
No caution for that one.
Go take a look at that. Was insane. Let's see if we could find that.
Just looks like one of them racing deals coming off the exit of turn number 2.
Well, probably gonna get a better view if we go to the high line here.
Looked like the 0-2 just kind of got a little tight, went up into the 45, just kind of ran out of room there.
Yeah, he was trying to get up the racetrack. I don't know if he got loose or tight, like you said, but just one of those
but watch the 45. Doesn't even hit the wall there. Incredible could save.
Yeah,
doesn't really get any
really
damage
know what
from
they're doing
that.
to save a race car. And people always ask me, how are you so good at saving a race car? I said, well, if you wreck it enough times, you'll learn how to save them. So, I mean, you get a car dead sideways like this, as you see Dalton here. I mean, you know, these guys, it's just incredible the talent that they display.
It's going to send him back now,
Meanwhile,
but,
back up front, Schaefer only has about a second lead.
David Cabrera trying to pass 2 drivers at once down the backstretch.
And
he will do it.
Do it? Maybe?
Well, he gets by Lucas
He
Martin.
tries to get 3. He's going to try to get 3. I think he gets all 3 of them here. Normally, it is very hard, and kudos to Cabrera right there as he's getting 3 cars at once. It is very, very hard to do a shallow entry like he just did into turn 3 here without pushing up the racetrack and collecting
Hey,
a bunch of
caution
guys.
out on the racetrack.
Oh, it's the 26.
5. Devin Mosley as well.
Oh, our
no.
in-race reporter. That's unfortunate.
Well,
We're not going to pull him up right now.
Well, he's got.
Looked like similar situation to Connor earlier.
Oh, he gets it right up into Mike Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson was just running his normal line, probably getting ready to go back up the racetrack, but one of those things, I think Devin just thought he was higher than what he was.
Oh, and Mertez gets involved.
Yeah, Mertez piles
Yeah,
into
too.
it, unfortunately.
And I stand corrected. It wasn't Connor I was mentioning earlier, but the same situation that Charles Bachman did with, I think it was also David
It was Cabrera. It was Cabrera.
with Cabrera, yeah.
Yeah, you look at Mertez here, and just an innocent victim. He's trying to go up and get out of this pile up. Oh, and he locks the brakes up. And when he locked the brakes up,
and Mike
he gets into the
Robinson
60.
is jumping back to pit road.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there. Innocent bystander on that one. I can't really fault that on Mike. I mean, the 5 did decide to go down there. And that's how I always view these type of wrecks when you got a guy on the apron versus a guy on the track. The guy on the track has the right of way. It's not the driver on the banking's responsibility to make sure that guy on the apron is okay.
Now, I don't know if his car was broken, but when he was up on top of the racetrack, towards the top, I was kind of expecting to hold his brake and everything and let everybody go by, but he ends up collecting Zach Mertez.
Yeah, I think in that situation, he's just trying to lock his brakes up if he can, and unfortunately, Zach gets involved. But if you go look at Zach beforehand, even then, he's trying to lock his brakes up to avoid this crash and slow down as best he can, and he gets loose and comes down to the apron. So
Yeah.
just an unfortunate scene of events right there.
Well, you got drivers on pit road, probably for some repairs. You got Dalton Fredericks, Hermie Sadler's leaving pit road now. Philip Bridgman, Zach Mertez, obviously. Drivers do have fast repairs, but unfortunately with the Winn-Dixie number 60, I did not mean for that to rhyme there. He had to jump to pit road, so he's going to have to sit there a while and then take his fast repair.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate for him. And it's these guys are going to be coming back out when they can if they haven't used it. So, and a lot of these guys are also staying out. They haven't run that many laps, so
Well, for
this isn't a sign
everybody
of things to
watching
come.
at home, this is All-Star 15 TV. I'm AJ Capola, Gary Wells, and Peyton Sweet up in the broadcast booth with me. If you haven't yet, hit that like button. It helps out the channel. Also, hit that subscribe button. Subscribing to All-Star 15 TV, completely free. Don't have to pay a cent. But then it also unlocks the chat room so you can come talk to us. And you get that wonderful Stone Cold Steve Austin beer clash and probably scare the living crap out of Gary.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Beautiful scenes.
Especially with Mike Campigio. I was really happy to see his name pop up.
I was surprised he hasn't already subscribed, so good for him.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but I'm happy you did.
I'll throw him under the bus. It's okay. That's what I'm here for. And we're about 10 laps from halfway here, guys, so it's going to be interesting here as they get going. Let me, I am going to do some investigative reporting. I will be back in a moment.
Oh, boy. Gary sounds
Go
like a
down into the
shark.
chat.
Da-da, 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 da-da. Well, Peyton, we're 35 laps in. We're under caution, our second caution of the evening. Has anything surprised you with how these Xfinity cars are running around Chicagoland?
You know, I thought it was going to be a little more...
I did talk to a couple of the HutchSport guys. Mike Robinson accidentally used his earlier, and
Oh,
so
no.
he's done for the night, potentially. And Dalton has not used his yet, so he is still good to go.
Oh,
Okay, good.
That's very unfortunate when it comes to Mike Robinson. That is one of the first things you need to uncheck when you're leaving pit road to start the race.
Yeah, it can be such an easy mistake leaving that on here. Looks like Hermie Sadler is coming back down pit road. He's coming down from the 17th position. Now he's going to trickle down here.
Not sure if he's just trying to top off the fuel tank here, because he is a little bit out of the fuel window still, but...
It probably is, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's all he
doesn't
did.
really have any damage, so...
That's all he did.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like he took tires or anything, so I think he's just going to roll back out here and get it going again. Which, if this race does go green, it's going to be close if you make it from here on fuel, if you're not saving under yellow, so...
I don't think you can, but I've been wrong many times before with people saving. Gary, you know TJ, when we used to play on Heat 5 and all that stuff, I'd have maybe 6 laps of fuel left with 15 to go, and he'd end up making it, and it'd be the stupidest thing in the world.
I have a fuel saving story myself, and I am like the worst at fuel saving. So I was in a league on NASCAR Heat 5. It was the Daytona 500. I lost the pack at the beginning of the third stage, so I was fuel saving from the get-go. I made 40 laps.
Well, green flag in the air, Gary. We'll get to that in just a couple laps.
There you go. 99 of Chase Schaefer gets a really good run here.
Yeah, no kidding.
And they're 3 wide already. Look at this.
Oh, boy. Dalton Fredericks looking to the inside as I'm trying to find his name.
And David Cabrera making it 3 wide amongst our leaders here. They're going to funnel out, though, to 2 wide.
Well, on these restarts, it's probably your safest bet, or the safest bet, your best bet to get positions.
Passes.
Yeah.
These guys are going to be very aggressive. Come to the green on these restarts because, I mean, like I said, they have to make passes somehow, and this is the best time to get.
Oh, James Thurston.
22 gets loose. Yeah, the 96 all over his back bumper, and they're gonna make it.
Oh, here goes Landon Williams.
Comes 88. He's gonna have a good run down the back straightaway here. Landon didn't pinch off his exit of the corner like James had to right there. So that's going to help Landon down the back and going into 3. And he's not going to take the apron, as you see the 28 and the 31 behind them take the apron here.
Well, you've seen how many issues people have had when they do take that apron. The car to their outside doesn't realize they're coming back on the racetrack.
Yeah, and sometimes I've noticed here with iRacing lately, if you're off the track, the spotter doesn't spot you. So it's really tricky when you go on the apron
on the racetrack.
Got a wreck in the back. It looks like
26, I think. I'm hearing Michael talk about it. Michael Eckhart here.
Garrett Britton, I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think
it's the 98 and the 26. Yep. They get together, it looks like.
Oh, dear. And this is, what do you know, coming off of a turn.
Number 2. Yeah, you see the 26 just trying to make it up the racetrack. I don't know what's happening there, Peyton, whether they're getting loose or tight. But when you get back into the gas, the car is just going to naturally drift up the track a little bit before they exit that corner, and you're also opening the steering wheel up. And when you're trying to open that steering wheel up with the car to the outside, it gets pretty tricky, and sometimes you just lose track of where that outside guy is.
So we're under... Well, go ahead. Sorry, Peyton.
I was going to say, I'm looking at the onboard here. I'm like watching, and it just looks like, the car is just getting tight going up the track there, and obviously just ran out of room with the 98 on his outside. So, I mean, you don't really know when you have that guy on, you have him on your outside, but you're expecting him to be up more toward the wall there. So, just an unfortunate situation from what it looked like, just kind of a racing incident, honestly.
Yeah, the 98 was just running his line, and then all of a sudden he has the 26 just getting into his side like that. It's unfortunate, but fortunate for everybody. They're able to get around and not a whole lot of contact afterwards, so that's good.
Well, we're under our third caution of the evening, and before we send you to break, Gary, I got to ask you this. At what point, what lap do you think we get to where we see last pit stops?
Well, it depends. Do we have green or do we have cautions coming out? Because it's really going to depend. Right now we're about halfway, so relatively speaking, you can make it to the end right here. As we see Hermie Sadler on pit road once again. I think he took tires potentially. If not, he definitely just took fuel again. But right around this time, if we were under green at this point in the race, I would say that everybody's made their last pit stop. But if we say we go 10 or 20 laps here, 30 laps here even, say we get to about lap 60 or 70, they'll definitely pit again. They'll be the last pit stop at that point.
And to answer your thought, Gary, Hermie Sadler did take tires there. I was watching his onboard, and he took 4 tires and fuel and went back out on the track. So,
all right, there you go.
Well, let's send it to a quick commercial break. We'll be back for the restart from Chicagoland Speedway.
Let's get this circus on down the road. We're taking bets about a tank and gas will go. From Mortar to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
We are back, everybody, and holy cow, has it been a crazy race so far. We're under a third caution, and this track is super loose. And there's that beautiful graphic that our very own Peyton Sweet made. Chicagoland Speedway, Juliet, Illinois, for the Land of Lincoln 135. Can't get enough of those wonderful, wonderful graphics that Peyton you make. And thank you, as always. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. You know, like, try to help make the stream just a little more presentable, make it seem like it's a little more professional, you know. We want to strive on quality, I think, here, and set ourselves apart from the rest of them.
Well, I think with you and Gary and TJ and Ryan on Mondays, really with your knowledge about racing and the driver aspect, broadcaster aspect, analytics aspect, you guys add so much to the shows, to the point where I can just shut the hell up and just click button, camera 4, go live now. You guys...
It definitely helps.
You guys do a great job. And Gary, with our first to 11th place are all on about 22 lap old tires, how important is tire spin right now?
Well, a lot of these laps have been under caution. We haven't seen a whole lot of green flag racing, but I think here you're getting to that point. 20 lap old tires or 20 lap old tires with an abrasive surface like this, I think you're going to start to see wheel spin become more and more of a big deal the longer they stay out.
Well, there goes the iRacing pace truck, and we are getting ready for the green. There it is. Chase Schaefer with an excellent launch once again. But here comes JD Laird to try to take that second place away as we head into turn 1.
Yeah, and JD Laird is going to be wanting to try to win this race, especially for the points, because if we haven't really talked about this much, but the guy who's leading the championship right now is not racing tonight, and that's the 20 of Zeke Willis. So could be some championship implications with that. If JD Laird can win this race today, that might help him try to have a chance for the title at the end of the season.
Yeah, because he is 65 points back of the championship lead. So if he's able to have a really good points night like he's had the last couple of weeks here, I don't doubt that he could definitely be up front here and possibly leading the points by the end of the night.
Well, he's trying his butt off to get by Ryan Billy, but he's going to have to do a lot more now that Thurston's going to get to his outside and possibly buy him.
Yeah, I think JD's going to have to see if he could try a different line here and maybe try running higher or something. That way he's not getting past, but he's definitely trying to work something out. Maybe he's just letting these guys go so they burn their equipment.
And that's a big thing about letting somebody go torch their own stuff, because if we get any sort of green flag run, you're going to catch them right back and pass them like they're stopped. But Landon Williams, last lap out of 2, a little sideways, and now this time out of 2, clips the wall. So he's having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, and it's just that has just been a tricky spot of this track all night long with these guys. The exit of turn number 2, either you're going to be dead sideways or you're going to be clipping the wall. It seems like there's not an in-between, but you're going to see those guys really push the real estate of that outside wall in turn 2 as we get more and more toward the end.
Still looking throughout the racetrack. It looks like Dalton Fredericks in 11th is trying to get by Steve Accardi. Remember earlier on, Steve Accardi with an issue, almost going a lap down. But now, looking in that 9th position,
Yeah, good recovery there from McCarty, who I think that was a lap 2 incident with him and Clay Nelson. They both went a lap down very quickly shortly after. So for him to be back up in 9th place, especially with Dalton Fredericks in 10th, who was involved in an accident with Zach Mertz earlier, good recovery for both those guys so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to do a little further follow-up with the 60 of Mike Robinson when he hit the wall earlier and got into the 0-2 of Zach Mertz, I'm being told that by the driver of the 60 that the brakes, after the initial hit to the wall, they did not register on his pedals. So it could have been one of those situations where the brakes just went out on the race car.
It's a goodbye.
Yeah.
And we say bye-bye.
Yeah, and Mike Robinson's had a history of hardware problems with his equipment. So, it's crazy. We don't necessarily talk about equipment failure because we think of a virtual world, but your sim racing equipment can fail just the same as your real life equipment would fail. So you may not have to worry too much about, say, like your engine's failing in real life, but but you can always worry about your brakes dying, So definitely unfortunate though for Mike Robinson.
But you want to know who's feeling like Superman right now?
Brake stick. I've seen people's the accelerator gets stuck or not even register at all. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff happen on this city.
Well, you want to know who feels like Superman right now, but unfortunately he's 2 laps down. It's the driver of the 16, Hermes Sadler, coming down, grabbing tires, grabbing fuel, passing cars like they're stopped, but he's got a lot of fighting to do.
Yeah, and then it's still a long race. We still got 40 laps to go, so he could definitely easily, if he can catch himself a wave around or get one of these laps back the old-fashioned way, we could definitely see him be in position by the end to possibly win this thing.
Oh, Dalton putting a lot of pressure on the 2 of Elliott Drummerman.
Yeah, and he's trying to go to the inside of Elliott, but Elliott is trying to also go down there at the same time. A little bit of defensive driving. We're seeing Dalton absolutely send it here.
He did.
Gets all over the back bumper of the 31.
How hard do you think that 45 is going to push it right now?
Well, if he has newer tires than the rest of these guys, probably pretty hard. Yeah, he's going to be pushing it pretty hard here because he knows that these guys have older tires, so he's definitely trying to get his track position back.
13-lap fresher tires. Everybody pit on lap 20. Looks like Steve Accardi, Dalton Fredericks, both on lap 33.
Yeah, and he's just wrapping that inside line. He's painting it pretty good down there. So we've seen him on the high side in practice. We've seen him on the low lane. Seems like he could just put that number 45 Mustang anywhere he wants it to go.
Well, we're going to go back a little bit further to the 2 because now he's trying to battle with David Cabrera and move up a little bit.
Yeah, and he's got a little bit of back end damage. It looks like in the center of the rear end of that car is pushed in a little bit, got a little bit of damage, and that spoiler.
I think he's trying to get down to pit road here, guys. He's got an issue. He's putting his hand out the window.
Yeah, hand out the window for David Cabrera. He's going to come down the pits here. But the 2 car of Elliott, he's got damage on the rear end of that car where the spoiler's not perfectly straight, and with how aerodynamically dependent this track is, it's really going to mess up his downforce.
Well, I think that's the same damage we saw him have early on in the race. He just hasn't fixed it yet.
Could this
I think he's probably just waiting for that safe repair at the end.
Could this just be Gary, him trying to just top off for strategy? Can he make it to the end of the race?
You talking about Cabrera?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could make it to the end from here. So I think it was just one of those things. I don't think he necessarily had a problem, but it could have been one of those things where he was just running out of gas and just needed to come in and top it back off again.
Well, nice battle here for 9th place. Drummerman and Bachman. Oh, this is going to be fun. Head down into turn 3.
Bachman all the way down to the white line. Taking a very low line, very shallow entry here.
And he's going to launch it into turn 3.
He's going to pass that 2 car like it's nothing. Great pass.
Looking for more battles. Ooh, got a nice 3-car battle here with Laird, Thurston, and Williams.
And Landon here, yeah. These guys are all battling for that last spot on the podium. Here goes the 88 underneath the 96.
And they just want to come talk to us. That's why they're battling for 3rd. It's not really the points. It's just to come talk to us.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now you see the 16 there and the 23 Ryan Billy. Of course, Hermes Sadler a couple laps down. trying to make his way around the 23. And you're seeing the difference in the tires right there. Hermie just has the newer tires, so he's able to cut it down a little bit on exit and do a potential crossover move, but he just can't quite get there.
I think he's going to have a hell of a run down the front stretch here.
I think he is too. He took a little bit of a higher line down the 3 and 4 there.
Or we could just look like liars here.
Yeah, pretty little liars. You know?
Well, and he's also probably not pushing too much because he is a couple laps down, and Ryan Billy's the second place competitor. So
that is very true. And you're in a unique position right here as a lap car. You're just as fast as these guys, but you're also wanting to get around, but also not ruin their race either. As we're seeing Hermie trying to go to that low side again, I think Billy's just going to let him go, as he should, in my opinion. I always look at it this way. If there is a lap down car that I know is just as fast as me and he's on newer tires, I'm just going to get out of the way and let him go. There's no point in me trying to burn up my stuff while trying to hold him off. Ooh, I think the 96 got into the wall at the exit of 2 there.
Wouldn't be surprised.
It was either him or the 04. They're both blue cars here. Yeah, it was a 96, just almost kissed it. I don't think he hit it, but he got very, very close.
Well, we got 30 laps to go, so a lot can happen, but I still think we got pit stops for these leaders. And you want to know who might be sitting pretty? Could be that
45 machine.
Well, I was going to say the 45, or even David Cabrera when he gets his lap back. And,
yep.
Because he pit on lap 54.
Yep. Him and Dalton are both sitting pretty good. And, you know, David's going to be hauling because he's got a little bit newer tires than Dalton. So, going to be interesting here if these guys do have to pit. And maybe some of them may not have to.
Oh, look at this. Look at the run.
Yeah, look at what Landon right here is able to do. He's able to just go to this high side and just take it.
Well, he's also got to be very careful on where he tries to pass these cars.
And it looks like the 22 is going to come down pit road. Scheduled pit stop for it. I think this is when you're going to start to see the cycle of pit stops right here.
And
yeah, JD Laird barely got it down to speed. I mean, that thing was flying. Made it.
He was super sideways there too. I saw him get up on the brakes, and I thought he was.
And now's not the time to make a pit stop mistake.
No, you definitely don't want to here. I believe Zach Cortez is going to come down pit road as well. Jack Brown is. Ryan Billy is right here. Oh, the 23. I think he spun out. He did.
Ryan Billy.
Oh, man, that's a tough break for the 23 there.
Let's see what happened.
And again, this is one of the harder pit entries on the circuit. Because this pit road is so curved that you're still kind of in the middle of the corner when you're trying to commit, and you're still going full.
He misses the commitment lines.
So he's going to go back, come around, and hit the commitment cone perfect.
And I do believe he might have sped there a little bit, trying to get back up to speed. So could be possibly a speeding penalty on top of that as well.
There's a good way to, how do I want to put this? Manipulate the pit road speeding system. If they see that you're looking to slow down or that you spawn, it's usually pretty lenient. So it's just depending on how quickly he gets onto pit road and gets to the speed limit. But Chase Schaefer still your leader. Nothing happening here.
Yeah, you would think with JD coming down and Billy coming down, that was going to force Schaefer's hand. That's what I was expecting.
And Landon's too, to an extent, because he's been just as fast as those guys. And going to be interested to see, because I bet you there is probably a second to a second and a half difference on tires. But Billy, I feel like is a little more out of the picture because of his spin. I think he spun himself right out of this race. Looks like the 2 is coming in, Elliot Drummond. And let's see how he gets on the pit road.
Well, he was very slow into 3.
Going to take a more cautious approach here.
I mean, you don't want to ruin your race like a Ryan Billy possibly did, but you also still need to be aggressive enough to where you're not giving up a lot of time.
Yeah, you'll see these guys check up a lot going into 3, halfway through 3 and 4, and then you'll see some of these guys just check up right when they're supposed, like right when you're at the line. And so I'm amazed how some of these guys can get it woed up to 50 miles an hour sometimes.
Yeah, it's tough for me to enter pit road. I can't imagine how these guys are feeling.
Yeah, look at the 47 of Sean Lester. He is coming down pit road. He's going to make it stick here. Good entry for Sean there. That was just about perfect. That was textbook.
That was probably the example of how you want to enter pit road. You know,
Yes, absolutely.
Well, here's David Cabrera, Ryan Billy.
Here in the 61 might be pitting. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're battling for the 24th position right now, guys. So for that battle between Cabrera and Ryan Billy.
And J.D.
And Elliot Drummond
all
now
these
is in there
guys,
too, yeah.
they're all around in this 22nd to 25th. If a caution comes out, these guys are battling for the lucky dog.
Well, and
Absolutely.
J.D. Laird's in the catbird seat, though. He's the first car a lap down in the 22nd position. So, you know, he'll get the lucky dog, but
Chase Schaefer
maybe
on
those
pit
pit
road.
stops work, though.
Leader is pitting now, from what I'm hearing. So the
Yeah, but look at where
80
JD is
99
compared to where
pitting.
the leader is.
Yeah,
JD has
Yeah.
passed the leader, so he is beautifully set.
yeah, he is back on the lead lap. He might be able to take the lead here, depending on this pit stop coming out of 4. He might be able to
We'll
just
see if
sneak up,
Landon
sneak on
Williams
by.
comes down here.
I think he's getting ready.
I think he's going to
just
come
don't-
down next time, yeah.
Nope, just kidding. He's not pitting this lap. Make me look like a liar, Landon.
Now,
Well,
is
that lap he ran was a 32.8, guys, so roughly off the pace, though, still. But compared to J.D. Laird, who ran a 31.5 that last lap. So, you know, a whole second difference
well, they're
plus.
4 wide.
4 wide. Where are they 4 wide?
Well, they were on the backstretch. Landon to the straight outside at the 61, the 9, and the 24, all lined up on the backstretch.
And he can't come down
Beautiful.
the road because the guy on his inside there.
Whoa.
Shut up, Gary. So Peyton, while you're talking about this, is there any strategy you think to take, you know, 2 tires, little less fuel, or are you just 4 tires and fill her up?
I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I would take the 4 tires, you know, just be on the safe side. At this point, though, if Landon pits, he's gonna lose the lead, and he's gonna lose several positions here, staying out this long. So there's nothing I think to gain by taking 2 tires. Your best bet would just to put 4 fresh sets on. Maybe you can shortchange on the fuel a little bit, but I don't know. I'm
Yeah, you
surprised
could-
for being out for this long, Gary.
Yeah, you could definitely short pit here as far as the fuel goes, but the tires you're definitely going to want to take. So he's definitely going to be looking for 4 tires and maybe just a couple of seconds of fuel. I think the fuel will be done before
I think
the
he's
tires
coming
are.
here. I think he's coming here.
He looks it. He looks the part. Will he play the part?
He's not,
never
though,
mind.
guys.
I don't think he could slow. I don't think he was able to slow up enough there, and I don't think he wanted to get run over by the 24.
And that last lap he ran was a 32.824. J.D. Laird's last lap, he is in front of Landon right now on the track, but his lap beforehand was a 31.6. So Landon's got to find a way to come down pit road here soon. Otherwise, he's going to lose multiple positions, more than he already was on the track.
I think he's just going to run it out. Maybe he knows something we don't know. Maybe he has enough fuel to make it to.
Maybe he's holding out for a caution.
He very well could be, because if you think about it, we only got 10 cars on the lead lap here, and we catch a caution. There's only 11, and with as long as we've run, everybody's going to come down and take tires again if you have a set.
James Thurston's only about a 10th quicker on that lap behind him too. So perhaps him and Thurston are both on the same strategy. Really unknown here.
It's the closest battle on the racetrack that we're going to drop back to. It's the 0-2 of Mertez and Dalton Fredericks. Dalton's going to have to come down soon as well.
I think he's good on fuel to the end. I think that last pit stop they made
On lap 33.
We've had some caution laps, and we had a caution since he last pitted too. So it could be one of those things where he's saving fuel.
And you can always clutch it during cautions too, just to keep the engine off and conserve fuel that way.
Off. You can do a lot of things. So I think he's just sitting pretty right here. I think he's also one of those guys waiting out on a yellow as well. So
I think we're coming to 15 to go.
Yeah, we're at the 15 to go mark here.
Landon has to have enough gas to make it to the end.
I don't know. He last pit on 20.
If he saved this much gas, I'm impressed.
I think you're right, though. I think he's just going to stay out and go to the end. I mean, for guys like Landon Williams and like Dalton Fredericks, these guys started in the season late. They're not necessarily running for a championship. They're running for a win. So if you're playing a strategy to win the race, I respect it. They're not thinking of they don't have that bigger picture in mind necessarily. They're just looking for to have the P1 on their.
You gotta look at hashtag hunting trophy.
Here comes James Thurston. Thurston, about 5 laps ago, was just about 3 seconds behind Landon Williams. And then when he comes to pit road, it's almost not even a half a second. So Landon has really slowed up his lap times.
Yeah, and Thurston knew he wasn't going to make it to the end, so he knew he had to come to pit road. Now Landon still has a 7-second lead, so now he has a chance to milk this thing even more.
Well, yeah, and Zach Mertz is running lap times even slower than Landon Williams. Landon did a 32.9 this last time. He's going to come around and do a 32.8. And Zach Mertz is in the 33. So, they're both looks like they're trying to save fuel. Actually, this time around, 32.8 for Zach Mertz. But
I don't think I heard of Landon's car going into the corner from my vantage point. We'll have to see what he's doing here. But yeah, he's really, really babying it and like easing back into the gas. He is really babying this car around this racetrack.
Yeah, he's definitely taking his time to get back on the throttle there. He's definitely trying to make it to the end here. With looks like it's going to be a 10 to go here next time by.
Yeah, I think our top 4 are all sitting pretty good. I think the time to race these guys, especially these guys right here, I'm looking at 2nd and 3rd. I know they're separated by about a half a second, but they're going to start racing each other here. If they know they can make it, once they get the green light on making it, they're going to go.
Well, Steve Accardi's also playing a big issue with Dalton Fredericks trying to catch Mertez here.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And we know that Accardi's a couple of laps down, so he's just trying to, maybe let these guys get out of the way. And
well, Dalton's got his own issue with Jack Brown in the number 3.
He's got Jack Brown, and I think he's kind of in the same, situation as the 45. So, and I'm hearing the 88 is he going to come down pit road here? It looks like he is. He is slowed way up.
Yep,
and the 88 said, "Party's over. Here I come." And you know what? Even with him pitting at 19 to go, I don't think it's completely over. Just simply for the fact that he's going to have the newest tires out of anybody.
Well, it's not even 19. It's 10.
I'm
we're
sorry,
at 9 to go here.
My bad. I thought this was.
We have a caution.
And there's the caution. And Landon Williams is the smartest guy in the group. I don't know what else to tell you.
Can he still pit, or does he have to drive
It's Michael
through?
Eckhart that's around, guys. Michael Eckhart, the 26.
He is going to not pit, which is a smart idea. Because if you pit once the caution comes out, I'm pretty sure it closes the pits. So even if you're trying to come in to make a stop. But let's see Michael Eckhart here. Oh, him in the 47.
Well, you saw the 47 blink out, and I don't think Eckhart saw him.
I don't think Art Eckhart was. I don't know if he was. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there.
I think it might be just an issue of netcode and internet, right? You saw the 47 blink out there. If that was the same on his end, he probably didn't even know he was on his outside.
Yeah, that could be a very good possibility.
Late. I mean, you look, he's literally in the inside of the 47 car there. But I think that might be more netcode than anything. I mean,
oh yeah, that's 100% netcode.
Yeah, for sure.
Just another thing we could chalk up as a racing incident, unfortunately here. But
that was a nice run that they had there. Now, all hell's going to break loose.
And this is going to benefit Zach Mertz and Dalton Fredericks if they need a pit. or even save fuel if they're going to.
Sure.
Which I think they're both going to pit here this time. And yeah, they are both down here.
I think Dalton's, or not Dalton, but I think Landon is out of gas.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, he is out of gas.
Or he's getting there to be out of gas.
He's out of gas. That car is
because he never came back.
clutched.
He never came back up on the racetrack when the caution came out. He had just been circling that apron. I think he's got enough gas to get himself down pit road, and so I think that's why he's punching in the clutch there, Peyton, just so he can make it to the pits and then get out of the clutch and then be able to maintain pace.
Here's the thing: he's gonna have to hit his pit stall. He cannot make a mistake.
Yeah, he's gonna have to hit it perfectly here, and he's going
He'll probably
500.
maybe into his pit stall here, I'd imagine.
He's gonna barely make it. He's gonna lose a lot of track position. He's gonna be about 14th or 15th on the restart. He's gonna make it right here. Hope the 79 doesn't make a mistake in front of him.
But the nice part, though, is Gary is that he'll at least be 14th. That's the lowest position he can be, since 15th on down is a lap down.
Yeah. Well, and 14th place got the lucky dog. I think. Lester,
I don't know if Lester was involved in that wreck. I don't think he'll have the lucky dog.
I think he'll try to get the wave around though, because I think
he
Billy
is
got
shown
the
on the lead
dog.
lap technically.
Oh, we have a lot of wave around cars, people.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of wave arounds here, but they're all gonna be starting at the back of the back.
From Ryan Billy all the way back to Steve McCartney.
There's a couple people pitting, but there are going to be quite a few wave around cars. I think you're right. I think you're right on with that statement there, AJ.
And right now, it's actually going to show Landon's showing him around the 11th position. Race control clearing his black flags. Looks like him and Ted Decker got some during that yellow flag here.
Yeah, I think he might have gotten a black flag there for maybe exiting a closed pit when he was passing through. It's a good possibility.
I imagine so, yeah.
Well, you know how iRacing is. Even when you do something right, you're probably still going to get a black flag.
Oh, yeah, every time. And shout out to Noah Wilson for not only commentating last night for you on the channel, AJ, but doing race control here tonight. Busy guy.
Well,
hey,
he goes from one booth to the booth next door. That's what he does.
Speaking of booths, let's talk about the guy in the number 5, our in-race reporter. I don't know if you want to bring him up to the booth, but he's currently P5 at the moment.
Yeah, what the hell? Go ahead, pull him up, AJ.
Yep.
Pick his brain here about this restart.
Here it is, Peyton. Take it away.
It feels fine.
Devin Mosley, Peyton Sweet in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Look, I saw you were in a wreck earlier. You've been in the back for most of it, but now you're sitting pretty in P5 here with going to be 6 laps to go here. What are your thoughts, and how are you going to handle this, possibly this final restart?
At the field to make it, so I was just not going to pit. But now that we're all bunched up like this, I have almost a guaranteed top 10 as long as I finish green.
You going to try to go for the win, or are you just going to settle for this top 5 finish?
I got Chase Shaver to my right, so I'm going to settle for a top 5, top 10.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and send you back down unless anyone wants to say something here. AJ, Gary?
Good luck.
Have fun. Don't do anything
Don't
stupid.
die.
I'll try.
See you later, Devin. Thank you again for being in race.
No problem.
Oh,
All right, that was Devin Mosley, everybody.
We probably pulled him at the most stressful time of tonight's race.
I think
for
they were
sure, but
talking
that's
strategy, but you know what? That's okay. It's fine.
Exactly.
They approved to be the in-race reporter, so we get that.
We don't specify when we're going to pull you up. We're just telling, hey, look, you might get pulled up during the race. We're not going to tell you when. Could be with the 1 lap to go. It could be with 80 to go. It doesn't matter.
So look at this.
Can you imagine being in the lead on the last lap and you get pulled up to be asked a stupid question? We wouldn't do that, would we?
Not if it's under
AJ?
green. Well, Dalton Frederick, Zach
And
Marquez,
the
your
pace
front
car's
row.
off, guys. Here we go.
That's a truck.
Sorry, the pace truck.
Green flag
All
in
right.
the air.
Look at the weapon on
With
that.
4 to go here.
02 did not get going that run there. They're already 3 wide. Look at this.
Yeah, Chase Schaefer is like, I need to get to the front, and I need to be there yesterday.
Right.
See if they all get out of turn 2. Okay. Oh, they're not. There's a wreck.
Oh, the wreck big.
It's a 22 JD Laird.
22's involved. We've got a bunch of cars
48
involved
of
in this
Philip
one.
Bridgman.
Big wreck here.
51 looks like he's involved as well. That's
Did he have
Andy
help?
Ennis.
I think he had help. Let's take a look. Did he
Yeah.
have help?
They definitely got
The
pushed
07
there.
bounced off the wall. Yeah, we'll take a look at that on the replay. But he definitely had some help.
And then the number 2 there looks like Elliot Drummond got into the back of the 22 as well to even further it. So watch the 07
every time
here.
you say Elliott in a 2-car, I think of Elliott Sadler.
Oh, he does get into the wall, come off the wall.
Yeah.
And hits J.D.
Just-
Laird and, James Thurston, Ryan
Thurston involved
Billy.
as well.
A lot of good cars involved in this one. Landon made through that.
He did. Probably with, gonna need an extra pair of shorts, but yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
You know what
was
this
able to
does
get down
do,
to the
though,
end of the racetrack and just avoid everybody.
Green, white, checkered.
And this should give Hermie Sadler in the 16 the lucky dog. He's the first car lap down, shown at 20th. So
Hey, he played it right. Well, it's not an official green, white, checkered yet, AJ. We haven't seen the little thingy come up yet here.
Yeah,
so.
but now
There
it'll be
it
a green,
is.
white,
Now it's a
checkered,
green, white,
yep.
checkered. There it is.
How many attempts do they get?
They get 3. They get
All
3
right.
tries at it.
Be very unfortunate if that said unlimited.
it just means you got to settle in. We'll be here for a little bit.
Yeah, right. And I think the max they'll go for unlimited, I think it's 15, so.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, everybody, we have almost 20 people watching. Share it out. Hit that share button. Let's see how many people we can get in for the finish of this Land of Lincoln 135. But, guys, what are you thinking? Do you think Landon Williams has enough to get back up towards the front? Or do you think once Chase Schaefer seems to get clear of, I don't know, that second row?
Hold on. We got the 45 and the 02 up here. I don't think these guys are going to roll over for the 99.
I don't think
They're
so.
definitely not.
I don't think
They're
so
going to be
either.
They're going to be 3 wide screaming coming out of turn 2. I'm telling you.
I don't think so either, but Chase Schaefer has led the most laps, has the fastest lap. I 100%
And
think
started on the pole.
I 100% think that 99 is still going to play a part in this top 3.
If these guys have lane choice at the start-finish line, for the restarts, if the leader has choice, I would pick the outside.
And block the 99.
That way I know the 99 is at least going to push me across the start-finish line.
Well, you talked about him. Mr. Joe Hutchings is crew chiefing for both the 88, the 60, and the 45. Do you think that could be
Both?
something?
There's 3 cars. How can you say both?
Well, because
There's
Mike
3
is
cars.
not racing anymore.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
Mike's car is broke.
Yeah.
I
It said
think at this
bye-bye.
I think at this point, though, if you're Joe Hutchings, you're the team leader for HSR, you're going to be focusing probably more on Dalton Fredericks, but you're going to let them have at it, You got Landon in 8th, who's still in this. He's got a good, quick car here. Anything can happen on this restart. But Dalton is can be a good defender, too. We've seen him run really, really well in this series so far in the starts he's had. And I know that he's ran in other leagues that AJU broadcasts here on this channel, and I've seen him in an IndyCar. I've seen him in the Cup cars. He's got a talent, a raw talent. We've seen him do really well here tonight. I would say he's going to be the toughest challenge for Chase Schaefer if Chase wants to win this race tonight.
Absolutely. Well, and we've also seen, and I do drive for HutchSport Racing, shocker, right? But, we have seen Joe, or at least I have firsthand, when it comes to team orders, say they're on the front row at the end of the race and they're side by side, there's no team orders. Your goal is to go beat who you're supposed to beat, and if it just happens to be a teammate, you don't want to wreck them. But if your goal is to beat them and you're in position, why not? As we have 1 to go here.
And you kind of said you would expect him to take the outside.
Yeah, he didn't.
He did not.
That's okay. It happens.
He had a really good restart, though, on the bottom on that last one. So
and it seems like a lot of the restarts, if you're on the bottom as a leader, it seems to be working good for you. So
Yeah, you get the
why
good
change
launch
it?
and then you immediately go to the outside.
Well, now Schaefer, I think he has a harder job because he has to get around the 02 as well, and possibly the 3 to contend with there as well, Jack Brown. And you got Devin Mosley. There's a lot of good cats up here in this top 5. There goes the pace.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, is that a wrestling over everything reference?
Yes, it was.
Beautiful. Pace truck is off. Take it away, AJ.
All right, and green flag in the air. Dalton was really holding out on it, but that's going to lock everybody up right by him. He's not going to be gone. Mertez still to his outside. Mertez with the advantage right now.
Oh, they're 3, 4, 5, 7 wide back here. If they make it through turn 2, I'll be surprised. Here comes the O2. Here comes Schaefer.
They're rocking to the back. There's a spin
Looking
around.
in the
That
back,
looks
the
like Sean
23 is
Lester.
involved.
Ryan, Billy, and Elliot Duberman.
And that's going to put Zach Mertz in the lead, guys.
It is. It certainly is. And it's going to put Schaefer on that front row, I do believe. It's going to put Schaefer in second.
He did get second, yes. So he'll have the second place spot.
Yeah, you'll have to get a good eye on that 23 car there. I don't know exactly what happened, but...
Well, it's a continuous turn track. And I think he just wanted to get away from the wall. And just came right down into Elliot Drummerman.
Yeah, but I mean he's well away from the wall at that point. I don't know. Racing deal.
I would assume so. They were both securely in their top 10.
I don't think they had ill intent there.
I don't think he really knew the two was that close on his inside there.
Yeah. But it's the end of the race. You got to go for every spot that you can get, and I don't blame Drummond right there for trying to, try to sidetrack him a little bit and keep in it and try to pull him back if you can.
Now, Gary, because we've seen this happen a lot tonight, where it just seems like the other driver just didn't know that there was another guy on their inside or outside. How important? Because iRacing, they'll tell you if you got a guy on the inside or outside, but they won't tell you how close. How important is it to say maybe have like a user spotter in the cockpit with you?
Oh, I think a user spotter is a great advantage, especially because they can also crew chief the car and they can help you make sure that your tires are unchecked and your fast repair is unchecked and everything like that. So if you have a user spotter, I think it plays great dividends for you. And they could tell you exactly how far the distance is in between each car, where otherwise, I mean, you'd have to look to your left and to your right at times just to see how close you are between each car and around you and in front of you and behind you and everything. So,
well, the lights are already off on the pace truck. We're just gonna.
Ooh, we had a quick restart.
We had a very quick one.
Noah turned off the pace laps. Good.
He shortened it by 1 lap and gave Hermie Saller the wave around. So unfortunately for Hermie Saller, he'll get his lap back, but he's going to be way behind these guys on the restart here. That was a late decision by race control there to give the one to go here. So we'll see what happens here.
Look at the 99. He's not even with the O2. Now he's getting even.
Green flag back in the air. We're underway Chicagoland. Green, white, checkered attempt. Number dose.
If Dalton can get underneath Schaefer, Dalton needs to get underneath Schaefer.
It's going to be tight. He's there.
He's looking, but how well?
I think Chase is going to be able to get the momentum off the corner here. Here comes the 28 to the inside of the 45 now as well. Here comes 88 all the way in the background here. Rounding turn 4, white flag this time.
Yeah, coming to that wrestling over everything, white flag. Oh, this is going to be one hell of a finish.
There's a wreck in the back, guys.
It ain't going to matter. They're going to keep the green flag out. We stay green here. Here's the battle for the lead.
Yeah, that 99 should have a really nice run down towards turn 3.
What does the 99 do? Does he go low?
He's not sending it.
He's going to follow the O2 right in his tracks. Oh, they're wrecking back here. The 88 and 3. It looks like they make contact.
And out of turn 4.
They keep it straight.
Zach Mertez is going to win the Land of Lincoln 135.
How about that? Good run there by the O2.
Chase Schaefer in second and Dalton Fredericks in third. Now, you guys mentioned a bunch of wrecks.
Zach Kloischer and Zach Brown there rounding out your top 5.
You guys mentioned a bunch of wrecks. Let's
It happened on the trial over here. It looks like with can't tell who that was. Philip Bridgman was the one that got wrecked, and then it just caused a collision in the back between Charles Bachman, CJ Allman involved, Sean Lester I mentioned. They'll start with the 48.
See what happened here. Typical Chicagoland wreck.
I believe so. Watch the 15.
Lucas Martin was expecting the 48 to go low.
The 48 was going to go to the apron, and he didn't.
Yeah.
Look at that burnout there by Zach Mertez. Very nicely done.
All right, everybody, we're going to get ready for our interviews. We're going to take a quick break, though, and when we return, we're going to talk to our podium finishers.
From Mortar to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Back, everybody. We're back here at the Chicagoland Speedway here in Joliet, Illinois. And what a crazy finish. We're going to talk to our P1 finisher, Zach Mertez. And Gary, take it away.
All right, Zach, congratulations on the win at Chicagoland. Talk about that wild, crazy finish. I mean, you were top 5 all night, but to pull out the win here in exciting fashion. Took you a couple green, white checkers, but talk about it.
Top 5 all night. Are you just trying to make it sound like I'm that good?
You were running there in the top 5, top 10, sure.
All right, so let's look at how this went. I wrecked in qualifying, okay? That relegated me to 27th. Let's just go with the fact that I'm hard charger already. So we made our way through the field. We gained 11 spots, literally lap 1. Literally lap 1. You can go back and look at the replay. 11 spots, lap 1. Just charged our way through the field. First caution came out, took tires, got the track position we needed. Then ended up running into the 45. Totally on me. Just washed up the racetrack, got loose. And we spun down into the grass. Threw me all the way back to 22nd. Had to come back through the field again. Caution came out. I knew that if I pitted and I took tires, that it was just not going to help me. It wasn't going to help me at all. So I took fuel, and then we had that long green flag run, that super long green flag run. And I'm like, okay, I actually have enough fuel to make it to the end. And JD is like 15 seconds behind me right here. So, and that was with 8 to go. And I was like, maybe I can do this. So then the leader pits. I stay out still, take the lead, boom. Caution comes out again, okay? This is where I started losing it. So I pit, I take tires, 45 beats me out of pit road. I knew I needed to get a good restart. I didn't get a good restart on the first one with the first green, white checkered, and he was able to get away from me. But second restart, I fixed my mistake, and I stayed with him. I cleared him around the outside. Caution came out again. My heart was pumping. I didn't think I was going to be able to get that restart on the bottom that I necessarily needed, but I got it. And I was able to just stay in front of Chase that whole time. I knew that he had been the dominant car all night, but oh man, I was on that second set of tires for, I want to say, since lap 23, caution came out lap 72, so about 50 laps. And I was only about halfway through my right front. I was going to make those tires last to the end. I was going to make it work. And even getting caught up in a wreck, having to use my fast repair, it was just, oh my God, it was absolutely insane. What a way to win a race.
Yeah, you definitely had your fair share of adversity tonight, and being able to pull out the win like you did, I thought was going to go green myself. I'm right there with you, Zach. And the fact that you spent 50 laps on that set of tires, that's pretty incredible. Um, well, we go to Bristol next week, short track, 175 laps there. How do you feel about Bristol?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to Bristol. I'm usually good when it comes to Bristol. That's one of the short tracks I necessarily favor. It's more wide open with the throttle than hard brakings, like a track maybe like Richmond or Martinsville. So Bristol is a track that's more well suited to my driving style, and I feel like I'm going to be able to do honestly a heck of a lot better there. I know it's hard to say you know, we want to do better next race, even though we just won this race. But I honestly feel like I kind of lucked into this win a little bit with how my race was going. And I really just want to be able to replicate the performance going into next week and be able to just show everybody that, a win like this is not a fluke.
Definitely, for sure. Any sponsors you want to plug in as we let you go celebrate here?
Absolutely. As I do with every broadcast that I'm on, my name is Zach Murtis. I drive legend cars with Stillwell Racing out in Concord, North Carolina. We're going to be heading out to Winter Heat here in January. We're eagerly looking for sponsors to hop on the race car to be able to help us with getting Winter Heat taken care of. If you want to send me an inquiry or a message about a sponsorship opportunity, feel free to message me at Mertis Racing. That's MERTES 102. Excuse me, I'm messing that up. Mertis Racing 102 at gmail.com. That's MERTES RACING 102 at gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram at Zachary Mertis _racing. You can find me on Twitter, Mertis Racing, and Facebook as well, Mertis Racing. Or you can just go check out our new website, mertisracing.com. That's MERTESRACING.com. And as for the sponsors, I just got to thank 4 Mile Productions for everything they've done for me this year. Burning Rubber Radio as well, Butler Built Seats, ERA Structures, and the Mohawk Foundation. Everyone that's been able to help me get out on track in the Legend car. Hopefully, we're doing a lot more racing come 2023. Hopefully, we got something going for a late model in the works and just getting up into NASCAR a little bit more. But honestly, just thank you to everyone that's helped me get out on this racetrack.
Absolutely. Well, congrats on your win, and hopefully we'll see you here next week at Bristol.
You'll definitely see me next week at Bristol.
All right. That is Zach Mertez there with his win. And I believe Peyton's caught up with our second place runner, Chase Schaefer.
Well, it was a great day all around for the 99, who started on the pole, led most of the laps, had the fastest lap, but unfortunately comes up short, finishing P2. Chase, what was going through your mind there on those last few cautions and restarts?
That was those whole last restarts. I was just trying to stay in front of JD and Thurston, and we did that perfectly fine. That last restart's definitely what probably costed me. Should have had a much better restart, but I completely botched it. But it was all around a good race. Can't really be mad with the P2, and just hoping to get a couple more positions. Trying to get to top 5, because that'd be pretty nice going for the MVP.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to advance a couple positions here in the championship standings. You were only a few points behind Philip Bridgman and David Cabrera in the point standings. Going into Bristol next week, what is your initial thoughts?
Really just keep finishing well. Hopefully we can get another good race. Not too bad at Bristol. So we'll just have to see how that works out, if we can keep scoring these really nice races, because I think the league says I'm like average star is 4th and average finish is 4th, so that's pretty good. So if we can keep that up in these last few races, I think we got a good shot in getting top 5 in points.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely seem very consistent and very quick in these last few races. So any sponsors, anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Follow at Monster Designs _ on YouTube. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Chase. Finishing second today here at the Lincoln 135.
Thank you.
And we'll go ahead and bring up here the third place driver, Dalton Fredericks, and Gary will have the interview with him.
All right. Dalton Fredericks finished third, started ninth tonight. Seemed like you were having a pretty decent run. I know you had to come back from adversity there with the spin with the 0-2 of Zach Montez. Talk about your run tonight and how everything unfolded for you.
Yeah, overall it was pretty good. I was just trying to learn the most I can, learn how everyone drives and learn the track. I had a lot of fun the whole race, even though we had that misfortune at the beginning, but with the pit strategy we had, with staying out on that really long run, and then getting that late race caution, it really helped us out. So it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad it turned out in our favor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there, as we had that long green flag run in the end, you were running somewhere in that top 5, and did you have enough fuel to make it to the end? Were you just saving at that point? If a caution didn't come out, what was your strategy like there on that long run at the end?
Yeah, since we had pitted before on like the second to last caution just for fuel, um, I was about 1 to 2 laps good on fuel. So if I had to, I could have went all the way, but my spotter told me my right front was wearing out, so we were just about to go into the pits to take right sides, but then the caution came out, which we got really fortunate with.
Yeah, absolutely. We go to Bristol next week. Another fun short track, high banks there. A lot of on throttle time there. Very fast speedway there. How do you feel about your car going into Bristol next week?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I'm really excited. It'll be another new experience driving with these guys there, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Any sponsors you want to plug in as we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank HSR for their awesome work on the cars. We practice a lot during the week and whatnot. Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast. Go check them out on Facebook and YouTube. They put out some amazing content. Drinkin Bros Auto Racing page. Go look them up on Facebook. The group of guys down there are really cool to talk to, and they post a lot of cool stuff on their Facebook page. Hutch Paints. Thanks for Hutch Paints for helping me with these paints. Really liked running this paint today. It was a lot of fun, and I'd like to thank Sim Coaches. Their pedals are amazing. Go check them out. You'll be happy with your pedals if you buy from them.
All righty. Well, that is third place finisher Dalton Fredericks. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll hopefully see you next week.
Yep. See you then.
All right. Well, back to AJ in the tower.
All right, everybody. Tonight it was the Land of Lincoln 135. It was a hell of a crazy race, and Zach Mertez comes out victorious over the very, very strong and dominant Chase Schaefer in second, Dalton Fredericks in third. Peyton, your final thoughts while Gary is making his way back up here.
I thought it was a pretty good race all around, solid effort. We saw a lot of green flag action for the amount of cautions we had. That first sort of half of the race was pretty solid. Tough break, obviously, for the 99. He just seemed like the best car in the field, and unfortunate that he wasn't able to quite get it at the end there. Man, watching the comeback from Dalton Fredericks in the 45 from that spin he had earlier in the race and how he kept it off the wall still is beyond me. It just shows you how such a great driver he is. So coming back and finished P3rd. And then, of course, with Zach Mertz winning the race too, man. Such a good race. And I just can't wait to see what the short track action is going to be like at Bristol. Might see some grudges we found today. Might be settled there. You never know.
All right, Gary, did you make your way back up to the booth yet?
Oh yeah, we're here. Bristol next week. It's one of my favorite short tracks on the NASCAR schedule. With the new configuration that we've seen over the last few years, with how you can make the low line work and the high line work, it's going to be interesting to see. I think we're going to have multiple lanes, and as Peyton was mentioning, if there's any grudges, good way to pay somebody back is right here at Bristol Motor Speedway next week.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. It is probably going to be a complete barn burner, slobber knocker, whatever you want to call it. Another wrestling reference for all those wrestling over everything people watching these streams. But tonight was fun. Glad to have you both up in the broadcast booth with me once again. But for everybody watching at home, you just watched the Thunderstorm League of Racing, the Land of Lincoln 135 from Chicagoland Speedway on All-Star 15 TV. I'm AJ Capola, Peyton Sweet, Gary Wells, and we'll see you Monday for the Extreme Forces Racing League and the happy hour practice for the National Sim Group Cup Series. So enjoy your weekend, stay safe, don't do anything stupid, and if you're going to drink responsibly. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Peace out, everybody.
Take care.
From Mortar to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.